After a short moment of thought, I headed toward the back of the ship. Hearing footsteps and voices approaching, I hid in the shadows. 2 sailors walked by, probably working, each holding a long flashlight, though neither was turned on. They didn't see me. As they passed, one said, "That man and woman in the captain's cabin, don't they seem a bit strange?" The other made a sound through his nose. Obviously, hiding and avoiding people. I bet the captain took money to secretly take them out. Damn, being captain has its benefits. We sneak a few things, and it's all risk. The first laughed. Captain's got it good. Those 2 must be important people. Why else would he order everyone but the server to stay out of his cabin? The other mumbled some bad words as they walked away. Their conversation made me very suspicious. A mysterious man and woman in the captain's cabin, who could they be? Could it be Luo Jixin and Bai Zhuqiang? The thought made me angry. If it was them, why had 19th floor arranged for them to live in luxury in the captain's cabin while I suffered in the cargo area? I decided to find out. And then it hit me, if the captain was secretly taking passengers for money, I had power. If that got out, he'd face a sea court. That meant even damaging the boxes wouldn't make him stronger than me. With that in mind, I stepped out of the shadows and called, "Hey, hold up." The sailors froze, surprised by a voice behind them. They turned as I walked towards them confidently. They stared, very surprised, until I reached them. Who are you?" One spoke with difficulty. I kept my voice firm. "Never mind that. Take me to the captain." The 2 sailors looked at each other. "We can't do that," one said. "We have to report to the first officer, who reports to the second officer, who reports to the chief officer, who then reports to the captain." I laughed softly, pulling out 2 big money bills and handing one to each. "Fine, you don't need to take me to the captain. Just point me to his cabin." They smiled widely, grabbing the money. One pointed to a staircase. "Up there. First door is the officer's eating area. Second door is the captain's cabin." I waved them off and ran towards the stairs, climbing fast. This was the officer's area. Normal sailors couldn't go up unless the captain called them, or they'd be breaking rules. Halfway up, a voice shouted, "Who's there? Stop!" I didn't stop. I climbed faster. The voice shouted again, followed by the sound of a gun being prepared. But he didn't have time to shoot. I jumped up, hitting his arm. The gun fell to the deck. My foot kicked the gun, sending it flying, and I caught it with one hand. The man I'd hit stumbled back, very surprised. What's this? Are you starting a rebellion? Drop the gun." I looked at him, a young guy, probably just finished sea school, a young officer. I ignored his position and said coldly, "You're mistaken. I'm not a sailor." His eyes widened. Then, "Who are you?" I smiled coldly. "You're asking who I am? Why don't you ask about the man and woman in the captain's cabin?" His face turned red with embarrassment. How do you know about them?" I lowered my voice, pushing the gun forward. "Take me to them, now." He flinched. "The captain ordered no one's allowed to see them." I laughed. This guy still thought the captain's orders were very important. How innocent. "I'm ordering you now. Take me." He looked at the gun, then turned and walked. I followed him to the second door. He knocked loudly. Within a minute, a voice called out, "Who is it?" "We're sleeping." It was Luo Jixin's voice. I knew it instantly, very clear. I pushed the gun into the man's back. He spoke with difficulty. It's me. The captain sent me with a message. Open the door." I whispered in his ear, "Good job." He gave a sad smile as the door opened slowly. The moment it did, I pushed him aside, making him fall, and hit the door with my shoulder, bursting in loudly. Luo Jixin said sharply, "What's this about?" I kicked the door shut behind me, pointing the gun at him. The cabin's light was dim but enough for him to see me. Behind him stood Bai Zhuqiang. The captain's cabin was fancy, and they were both dressed in expensive pajamas. That damn captain must have been paid a lot to give up his room. I stared at them, and they stared back. For the first time, I saw how very funny shock could look on a face. My sudden appearance was clearly beyond their wildest dreams. The satisfaction I felt was amazing. I spun the gun and took 2 steps forward, sitting on a sofa. I waved the gun. "Sit. Make yourselves at home." Luo Jixin stood frozen, but his wife recovered first. She forced a smile. "Mr. Wei, you're on a ship right now." I blinked, surprised by what she said. Of course, I knew I was on a ship. I just smirked, saying nothing. She continued, "On a ship, the captain has complete power, and we're certain he's completely on our side." I laughed loudly. She was trying to scare me. In this situation, did she really think a few words could scare me off? It was silly. I laughed loudly. "The captain might end up in court right alongside you too. That's the side he's on." Noises came from outside. My voice must have warned the captain. I shouted at the door, "Back off, unless you want a life in prison." The sound stopped. Bai Zhuqiang's face became even paler. She realized that on this ship, I had the power, not the captain. I waved the gun again. "Sit. We've got plenty of time to talk on this long trip, and I'm hoping for a good result. For the captain, if you two disappeared, it'd be a dream come true, removing proof of his crime." Luo Jixin finally spoke. "Let's sit and talk. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid." I smiled. "You're right. Things are bad for you, but not worse than waiting in a death row cell." He gave a sad smile. "Mr. Wei, you should forgive me. I didn't mean to betray you." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, really?" he said. "Think about it. I escaped death row. I wanted to get away from the police as fast as possible. I couldn't wait any longer, so I drove off. Later, when I tried to contact you, it was impossible." His explanation sounded believable, but having been tricked once, I wasn't going to believe it again. I said neutrally, "Is that so? You seem honest." The couple looked at each other. Bai Zhuqiang asked, "So, Mr. Wei, what's your plan now?" I leaned forward. "That's more like it. You know what I want. I want to know why you killed your brother." I pointed the gun straight at Luo Jixin. Before he could answer, Bai Zhuqiang screamed, "He didn't kill his brother." I said sharply, "I'm asking him, not you." Under my angry look, Luo Jixin lowered his head, silent. It was the same way he had been since the incident, head down, silent, avoiding every question. That image had been in every newspaper. I'd seen it plenty. I smiled coldly. "Not talking?" He stayed silent. I stood. "Fine. I'll see the captain and have him turn the ship around. He'll agree. And you, Mr. Luo, are legally a dead man walking. The moment you reach land, it's straight to the electric chair." He still didn't speak. Then, unexpectedly, Bai Zhuqiang became very angry. She turned to her husband, yelling, "Speak. Why won't you talk? I know you didn't kill him. Why won't you defend yourself? Why? Say something." I interrupted, "Mrs. Luo, you don't know the full story?" She shook her head, very angry. "I know nothing. I only know he's a kind man who'd never kill. That's certain. But many people saw him push someone off that cliff." "Yes, I believe that," she said. "But why? Jixin, tell us why." Luo Jixin finally spoke, spreading his hands, his voice weak. I had to. I had no choice." The moment he opened his mouth, my questions came very quickly. "Why? You went to so much trouble to find him. You brought him back. You didn't even fight in the days after. Why did you kill him?" He opened his mouth but paused. "It's no use. You wouldn't believe me." I leaned in close to him. "Try me. I'll believe anything, no matter how strange, as long as it's the truth." He stared at me for a long moment. I thought he'd speak, but he shook his head, sighed, and looked down again. Then, out of nowhere, the usually polite and calm Mrs. Luo jumped forward and slapped him hard across the face. That was the main mystery. Why would a gentle, shy man push his brother off a cliff? It was clear she was pushing him to be strong, to tell the truth. This wasn't an act for me. It confirmed one thing: even Bai Zhuqiang didn't know why he did it. After the slap, Luo Jixin's face turned gray, then pale, his body shaking. Suddenly, he hid his face in his hands, still silent. The hardest thing in the world is getting a secret from someone who won't talk. No matter what you do, if they stay silent, you're stuck. Luo Jixin shook, hands over his face, for a full 5 minutes. Finally, in a voice almost crying, he said, "Fine, you're forcing me. I'll talk. I'll talk." He repeated "I'll talk" twice, but still didn't tell the secret. I squeezed my fists, worried he might change his mind, ruining everything. The silence dragged on for a very long half-minute. Finally, he spoke. I pushed him off because he wasn't human anymore. I stopped moving. I didn't understand what he meant. I looked at Bai Zhuqiang. Her face was very shocked. She didn't understand either. I turned back to Luo Jixin. His words were so strange, I had to know more. But seeing his state shaking, teeth chattering, I couldn't make myself ask him more. He shook for a while, holding the bed to steady himself. Then, breathing heavily, he said, "Don't you see? I had to push him." I gave a sad smile. His words made me confused, yet he thought I understood. I slowed my voice. "I don't get it. He was clearly human. Why say he wasn't?" Luo Jixin's voice rose to a loud scream. "He wasn't human. He wasn't. Humans die, he wouldn't die. What does that make him?" He looked at me angrily, waiting for a response. All I could do was stare back, unable to speak. I had no idea what he meant. How could I respond? He said Luo Jixin wouldn't die. Humans die, so logically, something that doesn't die isn't human. If Luo Jixin couldn't die, then Luo Jixin's murder charge wouldn't be true because you can't kill what doesn't die.